So it looks like we're getting a new Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home 3-pack, but is this the one that everyone's wanted, and is it worth your money? Be sure you stick around until the end, soulmates, because we're going to talk about what characters from Spider-Man No Way Home we'd like to see next. If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out. Movie Spider-Man toys are nothing new. We've seen them dating all the way back to the first Spider-Man movie. And now, of course, we're getting some movie toys for Spider-Man No Way Home. And speaking of Spider-Man movie toys, we've seen a few come out already. They came out in the Armadillo wave, and those were Spider-Man in his integrated suit, Doctor Strange, who was very prominent in that movie, and the last one we saw was Spider-Man in his black and gold suit. This one was just a repaint of the Molten Man wave Spider-Man, so it was a little less exciting, but still, we got some Spider-Man No Way Home toys. And now finally, we're seeing some more. We're seeing a 3-pack of all the Spider-Mans who were in that movie, but how does this 3-pack stack up? Well, the first one is a pretty obvious re-release. It's Spider-Man in his integrated suit again, and I think the only difference about this one is that they actually bothered to paint the web lines on his costume this time. But other than that, it looks like pretty much the exact same thing we saw in the Armadillo wave. Also, he comes with an extra set of hands, but honestly, if you already have the Armadillo wave Spider-Man in his integrated suit, you might not really need this one. It's also worth noting that this is a pretty disappointing release, especially when we look at the other two Spider-Man action figures in this 3-pack and see that they've got the updated ab crunch articulation. They have the ab crunch plus the torso swivel, and all integrated suit Spider-Man has is the ab crunch and a waist swivel. It doesn't feel quite so upscale when you consider that this is going for $90. I mean, stop and think about that for a second. That's $30 an action figure for what? 3 Spider-Man action figures, one of which has already been released. None of them come with extra unmasked heads, and then you get some hands and some web accessories. That doesn't really feel like a $90 package to me, especially when we look elsewhere and we can see what $90 will get us. I mean, $90 will get you 3 Marvel Select action figures, and is this really on par with Marvel Select? Not really. I would much rather save my money and get 3 good Marvel Select action figures than spend it on this. And besides that, we also have to consider what we can get from DC Multiverse. McFarlane Toys sells 2 packs of DC Multiverse action figures for $40 a piece, which means if you buy 2 of them, you can get 4 action figures for $80. And just like Marvel Select, when you go over to DC Multiverse, you're getting a plethora of action figures with unique sculpts. So getting a couple of unique sculpts in this 3-pack of Spider-Mans is not the most attractive thing, because I can go elsewhere and get the same kind of thing. So just a little food for thought in that area. But coming back to the 3-pack here and looking at the next Spider-Man action figure, the Amazing Spider-Man, I do have to admit that the Amazing Spider-Man Andrew Garfield's action figure looks really good. I think this is a very well done action figure, and it's probably the best version of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man that we're ever going to see as a Marvel Legend. That said, looking at this listing, we also have to consider that we're looking at computer images. We're not looking at the actual product. And although the Amazing Spider-Man does look pretty great, we also don't know what else is going to be in the package with these figures. Because when you look at the listing, it says that there's going to be 15 accessories, but we do not see 15 accessories here. What we do see described, though, are webs, and apparently there's going to be a lot of webs included with these guys, especially if we're not going to see any unmasked heads included with them. Although the Amazing Spider-Man looks good, it's hard to get excited about it because I didn't like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and I didn't even really like Spider-Man No Way Home. The Amazing Spider-Man movies were both really bad, and Spider-Man No Way Home was just really mid. I think for me it was just way too much fan service and not enough quality storytelling. Hence why it's hard to get excited about the Amazing Spider-Man, even though the action figure does look really good. He's got raised webs and everything, and that's something they were really making a big deal about on the video that I saw from Hasbro. I think they were really leaning into the fact that both the Amazing Spider-Man and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man both have new sculpts and raised webs on their costume. But is that something that really impresses me? No, not really, because raised webs is just something that has been done ever since Toy Biz's day. They had it figured out way back when the first Spider-Man movie came out. That's just basic stuff, and Toy Biz didn't charge a special Spider-Man tax for their Spider-Man movie toys or any Spider-Man toys. They were just standard price, and you got a quality action figure at a reasonable price. It's just hard to look at these and not feel like fans are being nickeled and dimed for the Spider-Man toys they want. This hotly anticipated 3-pack that was announced a while ago, but now we're seeing that the approximate release date for these is supposed to be August 1st, 2023. Now, of course, these could always get released sooner than that, but still, it feels like such a long way away for a very popular movie, even though it isn't really one that I liked or am all that interested to see more of. I think the worst thing for a lot of people is that they went with the No Way Home design for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man's mask and costume. But for me, the worst part about this is that it's a Pulse exclusive, and to be honest, it completely and utterly boggles the mind that this is a Pulse exclusive. And the only way I can really see the logic in it is if they're going to re-release each of these again at some point, which would definitely go a long way in explaining why we don't have the unmasked heads, why we're not seeing more accessories to begin with, even though they're described in the listing. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say that we're definitely going to see these three released again individually, and we're finally going to see those unmasked head sculpts. And I bet when they do, they're probably going to be $30 a piece. Anyway, moving on to the last action figure in this 3-pack, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. A lot of people are upset about the mask, but you know what? The sculptor did a really nice job on this. This is a really good action figure, just like Amazing Spider-Man. I think the mask looks completely fine, it's accurate to the movie, I don't have a problem with it. Do I think the design is all that great? I mean, not really, it looks a little awkward from the side, but even if the design looks awkward in some places, it's not on the sculptor of the action figure, it's on the people who designed the look for the movie, because the sculptor's job is just to translate the movie to an action figure, and that person did a fantastic job here, as I say. Now that I think about it, Soulmates, I think that all of the action figures in this 3-pack are really good. The only one that rubbed me the wrong way even a little bit was the integrated suit Spider-Man, because he doesn't have the modern ab articulation with the torso cut, but that aside, these are really good Marvel Legends action figures, and if the price point were a little bit more reasonable, this would be an easy slam dunk, yeah, you should go get it. But as it is, it's $90, and I would say you should consider your other options first. I'd love to talk more about this Spider-Man 3-pack, but honestly, we don't see the complete set yet, and we're not seeing anything but digital renders, so it's hard to say all that much at this point in time. Is it worth the money? Well, clearly I don't think so, but of course your mileage may vary, and if you can stomach the price tag of somewhere over $100, that's with shipping included in the price, then maybe this would be worth your time and money. Because like I said, these are pretty decent action figures, they're just really overpriced and seem to be kind of the antithesis of what Marvel Legends is supposed to be compared to, say, Marvel Select. The major downside of this, though, isn't the shipping costs that are going to be incurred from this being a Pulse exclusive, it's the fact that a lot of countries are not going to be able to get it. And you know, there's a lot of Spider-Man fans all around the world, and now they're not going to be able to buy this set that they've been waiting for the better part of half a year. Well, Soulmates, now that we've seen this 3-pack of Spider-Man No Way Home action figures, who do we want to see next? Well, I think the obvious choices here are the Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus. Those are the two that I want to see more than anything else. And I would also kind of like to see Electro, but more than anything else, I definitely want to see a Green Goblin. I thought that the design was pretty cool in the movie, even if he was underused. He really didn't get all that much screen time, and it was kind of disappointing after all the fan base had really built him up as one of the biggest villains ever. So I went away feeling a little bit hungry on the Green Goblin, but still, the design was pretty cool, and to see an action figure of that would be awesome. Well, Soulmates, what do you think of this Spider-Man No Way Home 3-pack? Is this one that you had to have for your collection? Is this one that you were excited for, but now that you're seeing what the merchandise is and the price point, maybe you're less excited about, or are you completely turned off by it for various reasons? I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and be sure you let me know what character from Spider-Man No Way Home you would like to see next. If you'd like to learn more about the 60th anniversary Spider-Man Marvel Legends, you can check out my Spider-Man and Spinnerette video here, Soulmates.